to it. And he said, do you suppose that the God that sits high and looks low was angry with us for being numb? And he said, you know what? I have to do something to get the community up in arms. So he needed to take a good man, a man that didn't run the streets, a man that didn't sell drugs, a man that worked 2 jobs, a man that he didn't even like to fight. I think he might have had, to my knowledge, he had 1 fight in his life, and that's when he was in 3rd grade, and him and his cousin Chan had a fight with some girls that jumped to him. He was not a violent man. He wasn't a violent man.
Wow.
He was a peacemaker. He said, man, I ain't gonna fight you. I ain't gonna do it. Do you suppose that God did this to make a difference? He said, do you think that possibly one of the other 25 murderers may have had something to do with his death? And if people, when it happened, talked to the police, said, you know what, it's wrong, that this might not happen? That's why I'm angry with the community. Because we have some type of false street justice. We think it's cool to carry guns. We think it's cool to walk around with our tail hanging out.
Come on now. Jesus. Tell it true.
Man, it ain't cool.
That's right.
It ain't cool. You know what?
Sure ain't cool.
I heard his last interview, and I was proud of him. Because, you know what? Some young men that age, in the situation, they'd have been cursing all types of profanity. But you know what? He was a gentleman when he wasn't with Lenny, when he wasn't with Deidre, when he wasn't with Renee, when he wasn't with, he was still a gentleman. And if you ain't never been mad, you need to be mad now.
Amen.
Don't let them die in vain. Go to the highways and the hedges. Compel people to do what's right. But you know what? I mean, we talk all about basketball, and he enjoyed basketball, but that wasn't his do-all, end-all. Maybe about a week ago, amen, everyone knows that, you know, they have the new ABA team here. I came home, and he was in the driveway, him, Ashley, and Jair. He said, you know, Pops, I want to talk to you for a second. I said, all right, T, what is it? He said, you know, they kind of want me to play for this team, but, you know, it seems like a lot of politics. And, you know, I stopped playing basketball before because of politics. So I don't know if I want to do it. See, he was smart enough to ask people for advice before he made decisions.
Amen.
And I said, well, TJ, look at it this way. Well, they want to pay you $400, $500 a game. He said, yeah, about that, Dad. I said, do you have any of those other 2 jobs that are going to pay you $200 an hour? He said, no. I said, well, think about this. If it's political, if you don't get in the game, if you make that $400, that's something you could do with Jair.
That's right.
And if they do put you in, we know what's going to happen, and you could use that as your portfolio to get overseas. See, that's how it was. I mean, honest about it. When he was little, he ain't going to the NBA. Well, you know what? He might not. That wasn't what our goal was. Our goal was getting his education paid for.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
And anything after that was gravy. I told him, you know what? You can do whatever you want to do if you put your mind to it. I mean, just as good as a basketball player he was smart. And one day, he came home with this report card, and it had all these A's and B's on it, and I was so happy. I said, man, I'm proud of you. Let me give you a couple of dollars. And I mean, he took it and he smiled. Well, about or 3 weeks later, he came down while I was watching TV, and he was looking upset. I said, what's the matter to you? He said, well, Dad, I got to talk to you. So I go ahead. He said, no, I'm going to talk to you tomorrow. See, his mother gave him a couple of days to come talk to me. And in that day, I mean, I one of the worst things. I said, oh, does he got a disease? Did he get in trouble? I mean, I was working myself up. And when he finally came to me, he said, well, Dad, you know, here's my real report card. When his mother was making this bed, she found the report card under the mattress. But you know, I was so relieved. I said, man, go on, get out of here, man. Don't do it again. But you know what? He loved God. And he knew in the time of trouble to call on the name of God. He knew that, you know what? No matter what you do, the only thing that counts is what you do for God.
Amen. Amen.
He could have played in the NBA, but you know what? That's not important.
That's right.
Because at the end of the day, if you don't know God, when you open your eyes, where will you live again?
Amen.
We can't keep on doing what we've been doing. Amen. I know the time is late, amen. I understand that, but you know what? This is more important. Amen. Do you want to make a difference?
Come on now.
Do you want to make a difference? If you want to make a difference, you got to give your life to God. You got to give your life to God. He did not die in vain. Stop the hanging out. Stop what you're doing. Call right, and wrong. Is there anybody here that is willing to give their life to God on today? If there's anyone that wants to know what must I do to be saved, I'm going to ask that you stand where you're at. If there's anyone, oh, bless his name. Bless his name. Bless his name. Remember, what you do for Christ will last.
Amen.